When you're establishing a vineyard, it's okay for it to take some time. It's okay if you spend time just growing that rootstock because you're really thinking about the longevity of that vineyard. So you want those roots to be really, really expansive and strong before you start focusing on growing up. You need to focus on what's going on beneath the soil.
That first year, we'll mow the cover crop, we'll disc the ground, and then we will let it sit fallow for the rest of the season. We won't plant any other kind of crops on it or try to do anything else with it. And then the second winter, after we pull the vineyard, we go in and we put a lot of compost in the ground. We'll put, depending on the soil tests, we'll put gyp or lime, and then we will seed the vineyard with a nice big cover crop. After that, after we've seeded the vineyard, we will then rip the vineyard, and then we will leave it ripped and open for the next winter. And then the next spring, we come in with a big disc on a large tractor and work that ground flat, and then begin the layout and planting of the vineyard. We do work these vineyards a little harder than we would a mature vineyard with a deep root structure. We'll go in and cultivate every couple weeks in these vineyards and keep them going and keep pushing them along. I like to just say that a cultivation will mimic an irrigation.
In order to establish new vines, basically early on in the spring, we dig a hole and we plant what we call a dormant rootstock. We pack the soil back in and we give it a little water so that it grows through the summer, and in the fall we're able to graft that over to the fruiting variety that we desire.
When we're developing a dry farm vineyard, we plant the rootstock, and then we'll come back the next year and we'll do field budding. So the idea with that is that we're really driving the roots down. We're just having the plant focus on root development that first growing season. It's typical with a dry farm vineyard to apply water in the first 2 years. The way we do it is we dig a basin around each vine the first year, and we put about 5 gallons of water in it, let it saturate down, cover the hole. That's done twice. The second year, we do that once, and then the third year, we're not using any water. Obviously, it's dependent on the growing season and conditions, but that's a typical kind of formula for how we establish a dry farm vineyard.
So I decided to dry farm this particular property mainly because there is no water out there. The well water is, there's a small well in the place, but not sufficient to irrigate 80 acres of planted vineyard. And then planted to 3 different rootstocks, 1103, 420, and St. George, and 1 block of unrooted Cabernet. The setup of the vineyard is a 9 by 4.5, all trellised VSP. So I decided to do it on a trellis so I could do higher density, get more plants per acre, and not have to load up the plants quite so much. If it didn't work out in the density, if I realized in a handful of years that the density was too high, I could tear out every other plant and it would be on a 9 by 9 pattern, and that would work in a dry farm situation.
Our spacing for most of our blocks at Tops Creek for the dry farm blocks is 12 by 12. And they're planted in a diamond spacing, yeah, so we can do 3 passes of disc in 3 different directions. So we prefer to plant a new block with dormants in February. I think they come stronger and they produce a stronger vine right out the gate, which is very important to us. So traditionally we would use the bucket system, 5-gallon buckets with a small hole drilled at the bottom to establish our dry farm blocks. On our newest planting, because it is so large at 30 acres, it was just not practical. My predecessor, Jordan Lombard, actually came up with a system with a local irrigation company that they use in row crops. So it's pretty much a temporary drip system where we lay out a main line and then we connect drip line to that. And then once the growing season is done, we take it out and we're able to do our cover cropping and our disking and whatnot. And then we put it back in the next late spring, early summer, just for 2 years. Advice to give to someone considering dry farming: don't be scared. Don't let the fear take over, because it is scary turning that water off and saying, oh, we're hope for the best, because it does work. And I know in a lot of places It's different, but I can guarantee you that it does work for us. You just got to do it.